And still on Ademola Lookman, he's a winger. You've emphasized so much on wingers and all that. You know how you go to the byline, you pull crosses, but myself and the producer, we're having a conversation of wingers. Do you see much of wingers putting crosses today? Is this something that is I don't know, maybe old fashioned? Because most of the wingers we see today want to cut inside, shoot, dribble, just find a way, get on the score sheet. Hardly you see wingers trying to drift wide and pull crosses in. It's rare in football game. So is this something you still use to rate wingers currently in football, crosses and all that? I think it's
okay. So
the game has changed. Wingers want to cut in, score, get goals in their game, compared to going to the byline and putting crosses for players to score.
The game have changed, but the interpretation have not changed. So if you're a wide man, you're a wide man. Your job is first. Your primary assignment is to create assists.
Because we've seen fullbacks now coming forward to
I'm going there. That's just where I want to Peter towards. Trent Alexander-Arnold, 150 goal scoring chances created. He's a fullback, but let's not make it look like it's a new thing. That was what Cafu, Roberto Carlos, Ashley Cole, and the rest of them was doing. Lauren Etememea was doing back in the day. The Neville brothers. Even before the Neville brothers, Manchester United, Frank and Ronald de Boer. These things are not like the way people make it look like because of television and social media. That is a new thing. It's not. It's not. For those of us who, there are football players, there are football reporters, and then there are students of football. I pride myself as a student of the game. People have done this like in forever, in eternity, okay? And it is not something new. Carlos Alberto Pereira in the 70s was the guy who gets on the side, run forward, bump forward, and cross in the ball. He's a fullback. So it's not really new. Andres Bremer is a left fullback for Germany, creates a lot of chances and goals in the 90s. So when we say this, Paulo Maldini was playing first as a left fullback before he became a center back, it was the same thing he was doing. It's just that in the age of social media and this age where people bump statistics all up in your face, they make it look like it's something new. But even at that time, anybody who's on the wide side is required to bring in crosses. Now, inverted players came in with the arrival of Thierry Henry, and wingers became strikers. Thierry Henry, Victor Ekpeba, and all of them have one thing in common. They all trained under Arsene Wenger. And it became something different. You start looking at center forward strikers like Andrei Shevchenko or Lewandowski of today, looking like they don't know how to play football. Like, oh, you're just standing in the middle, or Ruud van Nistelrooy. But then, that's also a unique part of it. But let me judge wingers based on what our coaches play. No matter how you look at it, Austin Eguavoen is old school. And his primary tactics is 4-4-2. Let nobody deceive you. His system predicts that your wide men bringing crosses. If you look at the team, all of a sudden we now have more 6-foot+ players in the team. It's not by accident. Yeah. This man is playing Clement Westerhoff's script. Go back to Clement Westerhoff. His players were all 6-foot+. Apart from Chidiwanu and Benny Roa, the rest of them, and then Okocha, who wasn't really a regular under Westerhoff. All the other guys were 6-foot+. Eguavoen, Keshi, Uche Okechukwu. You have to be a giant to play for the national team. Sonoli said, as young as he was tall. And Rashidi Yakini, Ademola Mokashi, Samson Yeboah Siasia, Elastic Elao, all of these guys, Finidi George, were big men. You understand? And that's exactly what he plays. If you look at the team, we have Zaidu Sanusi at the back, left full back. We have Olaino,
yeah.
A right full back. Center back, you have Trustekong. Okay, let's go with the Nations Cup now. Let's leave Leon Balogun out of this. Trustekong and Kenneth Omeruo, all 6-foot players. Yeah, and then you go Semi Ajayi, another one that is taller than them. And then you come to the middle, Wilfred Ndidi, and then Joe Aribo. Those are 2 players. Then you have, it's the 4-4-2 or 4-2-4. So you have the wide man, what's his name? Moses Simon on this side, Chukwueze on this side, and then you have the 8 and 9, which is old school. That system, not too many people play it anymore. Very few people, maybe Crystal Palace, Roy Hodgson. Very few coaches play a 4-4-2 or 4-2-4 because every 4-4-2 is also a 4-2-4. Depends on when you're attacking, it's a 4-2-4. When you're defending, it's a 4-4-2. So very few coaches play that system, but it's still effective if you have the players. And look at the guys at the middle. Kelechi Iheanacho, 6-foot+. The real guy who's supposed to be there, Victor Osimhen, 6 foot plus. Even Taiwo Awoniyi that you brought in, even though after the Egypt game, he got lost in transit a little bit until the end of the tournament, but still a giant. What is the intention? The intention is I've got players who are lamp posts already. Whip in the crosses to them, let them do what they know how to do. And look at almost all the goals we scored at the Nations Cup. I'm not saying go to the byline, you must cross the ball over the head, but it's either I cut back, it's either I pass from the side, because that's how the team is programmed. The same reason why Tunisia beats Nigeria. Because Tunisia, what they just did, they mount an arm barricade on the side. They just put a confederation flag on the side and say, no, you're not going this place. This is a no-flight zone. You can't come in through this place. And then we couldn't reinvent ourselves. When we now reinvented ourselves in the second half to 3-5-2, we almost got the goals through. Again, on the bench, who came in is a player that is over 6 foot, Sadiq Umar. So if you look at the team is programmed to receive crosses from wide areas. It is not the wide area men to do the job. It's like a normal military setup where your strikers are like your guerrilla force, your men that goes forward. Your white players are your snipers. So they are watching, they are helping you to take your cover. They take out your position by bringing crosses for you, and then you put it in the net. So Eguavoen will most likely play. I'm not going to do analysis on the general form of what football is today, but I'm going to say this is the coach we have. When we had Gunnar, even though he was playing a 4-3-3 most of the time, it still requires your wide men bringing in the crosses for Victor Osimhen. Just that Victor Osimhen didn't have a counterfoil like in the Kelechi Iheanacho mold, to play his counterfoil. But in this situation, we have a counterfoil to the striker who, does all the running around within the perimeters of the box or the 18-yard box to enable space for the center forward. Anyhow you want to judge it, we are playing with wide men. So if you're a wide man, I'm going to judge you by your crosses. I can't judge you if you're going to cut in. If you want to prove me wrong and cut in, then score the goals. How many goals did Moses Simon score during the AFCON? 1 or 2, right? One.
Yeah, 1.
Then how many goals did Chukwueze score? No. 0. So he scored 1 goal. He scored 1 goal. So if you look at it, you cannot convince me that their job is to cut in and score when they are not putting in more goals. Look at Cameroon. The reason why 2 players in Cameroon one score 8 goals, the other one score 5 goals, Teko Kambe and Abubakar, was because the wide men were functioning. Whether it's the fullback who's bumping forward or the 2 wide guys. That was why I was wondering the team of the tournament that they picked, and they didn't put any of those guys who were bumping the crosses into the 18-yard box, causing the opposition defenders to commit fouls and bring penalty, and those goals that they were scoring. It was strange to me, because if you're picking players and you're not picking the guys who created this massive number, 13 goals between 2 players and the other players, then there's a problem with the selection. But that's a topic for another day. We've dealt with that one. We've moved on. I think that I'll judge our wide players basically on the amount of goals they're able to produce. If you now score, it's an added advantage. It's like saying I should judge a defender for the goals he score, but forget about the goals that they concede. No, I'm not going to do that. That's not your job. Your job is a defender. If you're playing as a wide man, the primary reason why you're there is to bring in the crosses, help the strikers to score. Now, if you're so good in helping the strikers to score that you now go from that one to also now score goals, plus, fantastic. Robbie Perez was a wide man. His job is to assist Henry, and then his backhand to score goals. But then he scored a lot of goals for Arsenal. But he's a wide man. His job is to create goals for the team first. That's his primary responsibility. If you now say you can add more, it's like Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yeah. Can he defend? Yes. If he was going forward creating goals, but every time they attack Liverpool through that wing, they go to score Liverpool, do you think he will still be playing for them? Nobody will talk about the fact that he was helping to create goals. Everybody will say, oh, this guy can't defend to save his life. Just like Wan-Bissaka. Very good defender, but can't help going forward. So now he's being judged for something that is not necessarily his position, but because of the evolution of the game. So primarily what the wide man needs to do is to please provide goals for the striker. And if he's not doing that provision, and every time he even gets the ball and makes the crosses and he's flying over everybody to go hit Twitter bed, I'm going to judge you based on that.
All right. So Ademola Lookman, you might listen to this one way or the other, but he's in good company, in the national team. Club teammates, Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi are there to keep him company. He put out a statement that he can't wait to put on the shirt for the Super Eagles, that he's happy that finally he's been cleared. So we wait for that official debut for Ademola Lookman. We don't know if he's going to make the team for the game against Ghana, because I can bet my life that it will be selected. I don't think he will, but we wait to see that. I don't think he will, but we wait to see that, and hopefully he gives a wonderful performance.
I'll put a wager with you that it will be invited. Would he play? I don't know, but it will be invited.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.